I will now very quickly try to cover how you are meant to apply. There are 4 templates on the OpenCall1 webpage. The first step is that you download the participant information template and distribute it to any entity that intends to apply. If there are 2 entities that want to apply together, you will need 2 copies of that filled in and submitted. So this has some really basic information about the participant. You need to also provide us with contact details and ensure that you meet the criteria that are listed. The basic criterion is that the entity must be an EU legal entity, and from there on, it must not be subject to foreign control, it must not be bankrupt, and so on and so forth. It must not have convictions for fraudulent behavior, nothing really extraordinary. So the second step is to download the main application template and fill it in with input from all participants. You fill in the participants, then you provide the motivation and the relevant threat landscape and the objectives of your project. Then the next part, how lengthy it is and how complex it is, depends on how many cybersecurity recipients you're planning to involve. So for each of them, we want an overview of the IT and operational technology infrastructure. But if it's just one, then it's actually just one box. And for each of them, we want to have a list of 5 key assets that will be protected through the OpenCall project. You can go beyond those, but we definitely want to have 5, and we want you to focus on those 5 in order to highlight what we expect to see happen in the project. As I said before, if you have fewer recipients of cybersecurity services, this becomes much simpler to fill in. Then the main part of the application is the methodology that you will use to perform personal training, security testing and enhancements, threat risk assessment, incident monitoring and response preparedness, information sharing, mutual assistance, and broader engagement. I recommend that you have a look at the instructions and the prompts given about this to be as precise as you can. You don't need to target the length of the space provided, but it's probably a good idea to be thorough. And then there is a special part of the application which applies to the priority stream. So you need to tell us which of the entities submitting the application are priority entities, which of them are IT and OT providers to priority entities, and then give us a small summary of what you have just told us. You will need to provide evidence, which could be like links to websites or anything that can be used to verify easily the claims. This is going to be examined in good faith, and it's going to be verified prior to the signing of agreements. So here the aim is to convince the external reviewers that this entity is a priority entity or a provider to priority entities. Then you need to provide to describe the impact of your proposed project. Direct impact includes what the result will be in terms of improved cybersecurity preparedness. Competitiveness and benefits to society will include competitive advantages that the entities that have been secured will have, but also any competitive advantages that the cybersecurity providers that may be applying will get. For example, they can say, through this project, we will be able to launch a new tool that will be demonstrated, validated in the context of this project, and this is great for such and such reasons. Finally, you can provide dissemination and communication activities. These are not scientific projects, so it's not necessarily the case that we expect to see 20 articles or even 2 articles or 1 paper produced, but the projects are 10 months, so please keep this in mind. But you need to be active in promoting the overall theme of sharing information, of promoting EUDOROS also, promoting your project and getting into activities that allow you to work together with other organizations that have similar aims. So workshops, anything like that, synergies would be great. Implementation. The work program is partly defined by us and it will be partly defined by you. We have defined the tasks and the work packages and the duration of the work packages so that they correspond to the foreseen phases of implementation of the OpenCall project. Payments are supposed to happen after the successful completion of its work package. you're advised to have a close look at the deliverables that are meant to be produced by each work package, because they will help you, they will give you hints about what is required in the various tasks. And then you're expected to tell us about the personnel to be engaged, to tell us that this is the right kind of people, that they will be able to carry this out. And the budget for the project that you foresee and the EU contribution that you are requesting, they are reasonable for what is promised and a good value for money for the EU taxpayer. There is a budget template, which is an Excel sheet that you will have to provide. Unlike European Union lump sum templates, we do not specify the categories of personnel that you will want to engage. So here, we basically want you to specify, let's say, if you're going to use senior IT administrators, senior IT personnel, junior IT personnel, general staff, senior general staff, meaning not IT experts in this case, something along these lines. What makes sense for each organization? So each organization is going to decide which categories need to be reported, how the grouping of the individuals that will be engaged will be reported. And you will need to tell us how many people you're going to engage, how many person months they are going to be dedicating as a group, as a category, not as individuals, in each task, and so on and so forth, and an average rate for the personnel in each category. Then you're supposed to tell us if there are any travel costs, what they are for, and how much they are. And if you're going to purchase any external services, what these services are and what the cost is and why you want to purchase those services. Because this is an EU-funded project, I have to say that a service which is provided by a third party is going to be unlike all the work that will be conducted from within the organizations participating. The service will be provided at the market cost. So this needs to be taken into account, and you need to purchase services that are of value to your project and justifiable. Finally, you need to provide any justification for costs that exceed certain thresholds. Here, I think we need to provide you with more detailed instructions about what we mean by high PM rates. We mean what the Commission would consider high PM rates, but we will need to provide you with more clear guidance if you are not familiar with lump sum costs applications. And there are thresholds for travel and for services. Finally, if there are any ethics issues, and I'm not saying that there need to be, if there are any ethics issues involved in the execution of your project, we ask you to report them here. This self-assessment is going to be taken into consideration so that we make sure before signing an agreement that all the necessary steps have been taken and everything is in order, because we want to ensure all projects are following ethical guidelines and EU regulations.